everybody, and welcome to the 120th episode of the Shattered Order podcast. I'm your host, Goodnight Punk, and with me, as always, is the number one Lions fan, Wink. What's up, Wink?
Why did you use my name in conjunction with a Lions? This makes no sense. Everything's wrong. Yeah, I'm wearing a freaking Lions shirt due to our stupid bet. Yeah, this is just wonderful. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I literally feel physically ill. It's terrible. However, I am pretty pumped because this is a great day on two fronts. One, I just went to the grocery store and they have eggnog, so I'm in a good mood. But more importantly, we have Urzatron on the show this week. What's going on?
Hey guys, it's a great week. I'm a Broncos fan. The Broncos just ripped up the Cardinals, so
yeah,
it's a good time to be a football fan, a good time to be a Swigo fan, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. So it's good times.
I'm just glad, even though I'm from Arizona, I'm not a Cardinals fan because there might be hurt feelings here today if I were.
Did you see that stadium, guys? That stadium was half Bronco fans. It was like half orange.
Well, my friends' parents have season tickets, and even they sold them. And I'm pretty sure they went to Broncos fans.
Oh,
so
man.
Yeah. I am not surprised.
Oh.
Yeah, that place was definitely full of Broncos fans. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Not good.
But hey, Wink, you look good, man. Stafford's a good quarterback, and you're looking good.
You're filling out the shirt well, too. Like, you look buffed. You look buffed.
Yeah.
Well, my friend who's I stole the shirt from is a little bit smaller than me, and so it's a little, I feel a little jacked in the shirt, so that's okay. I got a jersey hanging right there that has the number 12 on it that I'd much rather be wearing, but that wasn't the bet, unfortunately.
I didn't know you were a Patriots fan.
Oh.
All right, so why don't we go ahead and jump into Swogar-related topics and get past this nonsense. So big shout out to Chicken Bottom, new Patreon this week. Very exciting. Thank you for the support, and thanks to all of our other Patrons. If you want to join them, patreon.com/shatteredorder. We would love the support. I get entered to win gift cards, and you can get a roster review, stuff like that. Pretty awesome. Check it out. The other thing we have going on is we have a new player guild. It is Order Initiates. So if you are a newer player or if you know any newer players, we are trying to work on getting this guild filled out. So we need fresh blood. So send them over to either one of us or just, jump into our Discord, discord.me/shatteredorder. You will be able to find someone to put you in contact. So
in good hands. They're in good hands. If you bring over those noobs is probably not a very nice way to say it. New players, we will take care of them. So,
indeed. And one other thing, big shout out and thanks to our sponsor, Blue Designs, bluedesigns.com. Use the promo code SOPOD if you need anything, like some really awesome headphones. Actually, one of our recent winners that won a set of the Lola headphones messaged me earlier this week and was just talking about how awesome they are, like playing games. You hear the surround sound with them and everything. They are awesome. If you need a pair of those, Yeti Nano, whatever, make sure you go use that promo code. You will get 20% off in their store. So big shout out and thank you to those guys. Also, we're going to be doing a Blue Designs giveaway here in a little bit for people in the live stream. So if you're in the live stream, make sure you hang around and we will give you a chance to win a really, really cool prize. So if any of you are Assassin's Creed fans, stick around.
I had a thought just a second ago. Urza, I feel bad because I didn't give you enough heads up for this episode for you to grow a beard.
I had a beard as of like yesterday, and I shaved it off this morning. So
no.
I had I'm out of place, man. I'm sorry, guys. But I have a question about those headphones. I got these stupid glasses, and I'm looking to replace these crappy Beats. How do they do with glasses? You guys either I don't think either of you wear glasses, but
I wear glasses, but I don't think I've worn them with my headphones. So maybe I'll have to do some testing for
research.
you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
Let me
have
know.
any glasses that I could test, unfortunately.
My wife's always telling me to go get LASIK. She's like, just do it. I'm like, I don't want to be blind.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's
like-
the best. I got LASIK probably 8-9 years ago. Best money I ever spent in my entire life, still to this day. Just
Yeah.
highly recommend it.
All right. Well, we'll see.
All right, let's jump into some swagger.
Hey guys, what did you do in Swoga this week?
I have a sneaky suspicion that I had the least exciting week of the three of us in Swagga this week. I took my Greedo to Gear 10 due to my new arena team, in which I'm using Han and Chewie. Obviously, I can't run the old Chex Mix team, so I'm now having to work on Greedo so that I don't have to move mods around, like every other day, because that's not fun. I also max out the Umbaran Starfighter just because with Bosk's ship, the Umbaran Starfighter is probably my favorite reinforcement due to the fact that it can dispel that stupid protection up that it gets. It can get rid of the taunt. It can remove turn meter, inflict target lock, has a really awesome, powerful AoE. It is one of my favorite ships, so I decided to blow some Omegas and finish that thing off, and it is a total wrecking ball. I love it.
Well, you've heard me before talk about just how great it was that I Zeta'd 5s, so I cannot recommend enough to you to Zeta your 5s, because I've been using that chip for a while.
That's not going to happen. Yeah, definitely not going to happen, but it is tempting. He is Gear 12 with 3 pieces, so, I mean, that's close.
Well, eventually you're going to have to gear your clones, so.
Maybe with the Clone Wars show coming back for a final season, they'll get another look, and that Zeta 5s could be money.
I would be totally okay with that. Totally.
I don't know. Hope not. I don't like the clones. I want to spend Zeta on them, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I took Bastila Shan to Gear 12, so that's pretty cool. She's quite a bit of fun, especially for territory war, or if Jedi were meta or something, you could use her in a team like that. But I can't do that, unfortunately. And I'll tell you why. Jolie Bendo is 10 out of 100. Mission is 43 out of 85. Zalbar is 18 out of 85. And T3 is 56 out of 65. So I still have 94 shards to go on T3. So, yeah, I still got a lot of shards to go. I'll be honest, though. I'm considering it. I seriously think if I spend the 30 and the 15 on those 2 packs and then buy a vault, I think I can do it with where I finished in arena. I really feel like I could. I haven't decided to go all the way in yet, though, so I'm still on the fence. In fact, our podcast poll, maybe you guys can help me decide.
The spread on that question was fantastic.
Yeah, I haven't seen the answers in quite a while.
We're talking $130 for it to happen, give or take.
I think I'm not sure that I could do it there. I think it's more like 150 to 160 is probably what it would cost, but we'll see. Yeah,
I don't know, man. He's gonna secure you crystals for a while until he comes back around.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably don't have you're a veteran player, and I know you probably do top of your shard every day, so it's probably not an issue for you. But it could be.
I think the one thing when it gets to the point that a lot of us are in is we can get to the top, but how far down do we fall?
Right.
So
I'm kind of surprised. I did the math, and I'm going to talk about some of the numbers later. But like I said, I'm pretty sure that I can get him for 150. And I did say last week that if I could do it for that, I would seriously consider it. And that's kind of where I'm at. So I know. And like I said, I didn't even go that crazy on farming them, other than I went hard on Bastila Shan because I was using her in arena whenever she came out. But since then, I really haven't farmed the other characters that much until until we like had a really good idea that Revan was coming, and so I'm still pretty far behind of where I could be. Had I went all out trying to farm them, like I would be quite a bit further along. So I don't know. Still on the fence. Punk, what'd you do?
Let's make an Urza sandwich here. Let's have Urza go.
Okay. My week was super boring, guys. I did the exact same thing. I'm pretty much not. I've just accepted that I'm not going to get Revan this time around. So I just started the slow grind. I've just completely pivoted off Solo Scoundrels to this point, and now it's all on just Old Republic and just slowly working those guys up. I do run a Basti team in Arena, so I have her already maxed at, like, I think she's just on the cusp of 6 stars, so as max as she can go is in terms of G11. But yeah, it's been just the pivot to all those guys, and I'm doing like 300 refresh in 300 crystal refresh in Cantina, and then I'm just going to finish mission up and then switch over to T3 and just be on the slow boat here to get it done. So
how's your mission drops been?
It's been pretty good. I would say it's 8 on a max, so it's usually 3 or 4 usually. The one that's really been rough for me, it's been Zalbar. That one just seems to not hit as much for me. Yeah. Between him and Jolie, I'll do it like a 25 and refresh there and see if whoever hits less, I'll do a 25 on that. Probably should be doing 25s on both of them, actually, to be quite honest. But
yeah, that's not a bad deal.
Yeah, I'm not too stressed about it. This is here's the stupid brag, right? Like having the test account. Having the test account takes so much pressure off being a content creator to not have to, have like Revan and be in the top of your shard to make content. Like it's a nice thing. So I don't really stress about these things as much as I used to, because I'm just like, I'll get them when I get them now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Makes sense.
So Dan, what about you, man? How was your week?
I did something, and then I decided that it probably wasn't the smartest decision. Only, thinking about, let's say, Chimera, right? That came out last year around this time, right? I haven't seen a capital ship in forever, so I'm thinking, maybe it's time for a new capital ship. But I saw 1800 prestige in my bank, burning holes.
Wow.
And I only really had one good capital ship for Territory Wars, so I maxed out Home 1 because I have Akbar pretty geared. And shows you how much I love ships. My Tarkin is still gear 8, which is why I didn't give it to his ship. Probably should have still given it to his ship, but I maxed out Home 1. Now I'm working on Executrix, but I have a feeling I'm going to regret that in the next 3 months probably. But got another capital ship to use, so that's good.
So how much prestige did you spend leveling up the abilities on that one?
So I had a pretty good lead already on Home 1, so I think I only spent about 13 to 1400 of it. So I think I still have about 600 left, but even still, it's a big. It takes forever to build that stuff up, so I'm gonna probably try to hold the rest of it just to see what happens in the next few months, and then maybe now, dropping an Executrix. I don't know.
Do you guys farm it out of the shop? Is that something I should be doing?
That's where I get it. Yeah, every refresh I buy the 10 out of there, which is why it takes so dang long. Because the most you can get a day is 40 if you're awake for every refresh.
Yeah,
that's what I used to do. I've been just kind of holding on to currency. Miobaka mentions in the chat that it's 1950 prestige to max a ship from nothing. So that's, if you think there's a new capital ship coming up, you would probably be highly advised to start buying those. But I know how credits
literally right
we all know how credits are, and credits can go very quickly. So I mean, a couple weeks ago, I literally spent all of my credits, but I'm back to 35 million, I think. I don't spend a lot of them, but
All my credits went to gearing the Old Republic this week, so I am down to nothing again.
Understandable. Yeah, I'm
The
glad I haven't had to do that yet.
I usually buy the million and the prestige.
I don't really touch my credits recently. I mean, I'm kind of in a decent place with mods, and I just let's let it build up. I think it's at 135 million right now. So there's my credit situation.
That makes farming mods in the store very easy.
That is crazy.
Well, I was of the mindset for a while there before we knew about mods 2.0. I was like, I'm just gonna stop on these for right now, and maybe something drastic happens with like defense and tenacity, and they did change it, but I don't think we've really seen any type of massive shift with the the new bonuses that are in place. So, and then that kind of I just kept on saving after that. I just never went back to buying them.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's see.
All
I
right,
finished
Dan,
off
what
the
else?
old. I finished off the Old Republic tunes, so you can guess where that leads. Yoda.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? Yoda, I got him to Gear 12, 3 out of 6, and Zeta'd his special. So now my Yoda is awesome on my main account and not only my alt account. So that should have happened a long time ago, but I finally did it within the last couple days. Farming, I was starting to go back. So like I said, I finished off the Old Republic tune. So I've gone back. I'm now farming young Lando and L3 again. I had L3 at 6 stars, so hopefully she doesn't take longer than a couple weeks to finish off to 7-star, because I'm not going to buy refreshes in Cantina for a while. I'm back into crystal hoarding mode. Any refresh that I don't have to buy now, I'm like, yeah, let's just save those crystals. I'm not gonna touch
I found
those.
L3.
Yeah.
I found L3 drop pretty easy for me. She was super quick. But I think I'm like 60 or 70 shards away from finishing her. But I was just like a single refresh a day for not even a single refresh, just regular energy refresh. Just hitting all the, and it was super quick for her.
I totally agree, because I didn't use any refreshes on her to get her to that 6th star, and that only happened within. I think I started farming her a couple weeks after she came out, so it did go pretty quick. But it'll be nice to get that Lando's Millennium Falcon along with those two, because I really like that ship. So that was sweet.
Indeed.
Started farming the bounty hunters. Bosk I've never put anything into, but now that I'm looking for hard node farms, I'm going after Bosk, and then we'll talk about a little later in the content update. A Imbo, started farming him as well, so
nice.
And in a small note, the alt account got to 3.8 million today, so that was pretty sweet.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and my main account, I think it's at almost 3.3 now, so there we go.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe one day I'll catch up my main to my alt, but if that happens, you'll have to wonder what I was doing on my alt. But so that's what I've been up
That's
to.
a pretty good point. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you threw out a little questionnaire on our Discord, so I think we should probably talk about that.
Since everyone loves a good poll, let's dance through the results and see what you thought this week.
This is like the best sound drop.
I had never heard it before live on the podcast. That was a beautiful thing.
Yeah, people seem to like that one. All right, so why don't you tell us what?
Question 1.
All right, so as we know, this week Jedi Knight Revan came out. He's here. Some already have him. Some already have Gear 12 already at the top of their arena. But for everyone else still struggling to decide, to think if he's worth it, that is where these mind games have come in. So we're going to dive into where people are at with it, that have him, don't have him, kind of what people are thinking about this right now. So we got 180 small little statistic thing within that doesn't have anything to do with the poll results. I put this poll out like early this morning, and we managed to get less voters in more time than we got votes in like 4 hours last time. So I'm kind of curious. Maybe we should just drop it all at like when everyone's getting off work again next time, and see if we can get more votes.
Yeah.
But we did get 185 people, which is pretty dang good. So I'm happy with it.
Not bad. Maybe next week we can drop it, you know, like the day before the show.
Probably. But it's me. We'll see what happens.
That's fair.
That goldfish memory always gets me. So
That's true.
did you unlock Jedi Revan? Now, before I go into the results, I want to ask you guys, and I think I know your answers, but we'll go across the board. Wink.
No, but
Okay,
I'm
alright.
debating on whether I want to invest.
All right.
Yeah,
Urza?
I fall in that category.
No chance in hell.
And I did
So
on if you were up at midnight when the event came out, I live streamed the whole event and went through the story of it, read through that, and did the whole event. Actually, it was really cool. So I guess we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I did unlock Revan, so I am on the yes train in this question. But overall, there were 4 answers, and the one with 50%, so 93 of 185 answers, was no, and I won't. And you know what's funny is looking at the results for this poll, I thought that number would be higher, actually.
I kind of
Yeah, that is
Well,
surprising.
Yeah. But, I mean, you figure there are 3 different no answers and only 1 yes. But still, I mean, 24% of the people said yes. So that's I was actually expecting it to be closer to like 85% that would say no, but still not bad.
Gotcha. So second up on that was, did you unlock Jedi Revan? 25% said yes. So half the people have said no, and then another quarter have said yes. And then if you go into the other answers we put in here, 20% say no, but they are still trying and have been since they have been farming Old Republic. So it basically, you know, they've been working towards it this whole time, just haven't unlocked them yet. And then 10 people, so 5% said no, I'm debating on whether I want to invest. So I know that you fit into that category. But if the whole piece of the pie works out the way people want it to, 50% of people will get him and 50% won't of the people we polled. So that is an interesting number there. A lot more even than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is surprising. I thought there was going to be a ton more people that just had no chance, but I mean, 25%. It's
Of course, the people doing this poll are probably people who are a little bit more engaged, maybe longer term players. So it's probably skewed to some degree there. I would like to post one of these polls on like Reddit or something and just see if we can get a, you know, maybe a larger sample size than the regulars and see what that does to some of these results.
I never meet my 10 to 1, so I just don't put it there.
That's understandable.
Now, I got a question for you guys. Were you guys not farming Solo Scoundrels, or not even touching that? Because I was of the mindset that was going to be the next type of event, that because they came in release before Old Republic.
Yeah.
So
I thought the
I had
same
like
thing.
those guys pretty wrapped up, near almost all done. So that's why I'm so far behind on Old Republic.
I think
Yeah.
the minute that bounty hunters were announced for Chewbacca is when I decided that I didn't think they were going to be used for anything, because I thought we talked about it on the podcast probably a month and a half ago. I had this idea, and it randomly popped up into my head, that Chewbacca wasn't in this game, and he's one of the only characters in the game, not in the game, that is definitely a legendary status, right? So,
Right.
what is Chewbacca? He's a smuggler, right? So my original thought was we were going to need solo smugglers to get the new Chewbacca, which is why, you know, I was on the same path as you, going hard after the solos. But the minute that I found out it was bounty hunters for Chewbacca, I thought, okay, well, there's not really any legendary-ish characters left that could, not from the Solo movie at least,
Right. Yeah. No,
or
it's true.
you know, and then Chewbacca would have been the best bet I thought for Solo, or for Smugglers. So I just kind of moved on to the Old Republic then from that moment, and that's when I started going hard after. I did that before Bastila and Jolie became farmable. So from the minute they became farmable, I was doing 2 refreshes on them a day. So both of them were 6-star by the time we found out about this event. So I was on a pretty good pace at that point. But yeah, I totally bought the Solo thing until I saw the Bounty Hunters. That's what it was for me.
Yeah. And it was like there's nothing else that you could really do with Smugglers. They had the special event, you know, the new, what do they call it? Smugglers something or another that comes around like Credit Heist, that thing. Which, by the way, I love the rewards from. That thing's awesome. But, I mean, outside that, there wasn't really much else to really do with them at that point. So, I was kind of the same way. That kind of killed any interest I had in finishing farming them just because I didn't think it was going to be very useful. Unfortunately, I didn't jump onto the Old Republic faction like I should have. So,
Yeah.
Oh well.
And here's the sad
thing, though.
thing,
You got a lot of
though.
sliced mods. Sorry, didn't interrupt you.
No, the sad thing is that Scoundrel team, the prepared mechanic, it's super fun, and the Old Republic team, it's
yeah.
the team, you know. I don't know. In terms of playing that, I'd rather play the Scoundrel team by a mile.
I'm with you, man. I'm all about those synergy teams. Like, Wink doesn't like clones. I have all my clones good to go because I love the Zeta Cody lead. That thing was always fun to me. That thing, it's fallen out. It's fallen out lately because there's not a lot to do with them right now. But I love that faction because of the synergy. I just, about a month and a half ago, got all my Ewoks to Gear 12 because the synergy in that faction is just super fun. I'm all that. If once I get those Scoundrels, I'll definitely be thinking about leveling them up too because they're not even. They have a lot of use in. You keep seeing all these videos, including some of your own. The the Carillion Queen with with Kira. But you see some of those characters can do really well in a lot of parts of the game, so I'm really looking forward to getting them anyway.
Dude,
sorry, didn't mean to derail us there. I just was curious.
All right, I'll put us back on track.
Question 2.
All right, now that the kit is revealed and we've seen some video from arena trials, where do you rate him on a scale of meh to overpowered? Ranked 1 to 5. So 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. Where would you put it, Wink?
I'm kind of with the vast majority of people did the poll, a 4. Urzatron?
Well, I've spent the last 2 days testing. I've won one fight with one team, really. So I'd say he's a 5. He's, top notch, the best character in the game right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a brutal testing experience. I will say that, and I'm a little interested to see where we go from here because this is a definite increase in power, I would say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dan, what do you think?
30% damage in phase 2 with a Revan lead is one of the best videos I've seen so far. So
yeah.
There's a lot to do, and this is what happens with every raid and all these characters, right? Someone ends up coming around that can really make it easier for everyone. Those not beating the raid yet. Obviously, a lot of people won't have them yet if they're not beating heroic. More than likely, they're probably not getting Revan. I put those two together for some reason. Maybe there's no correlation at all, but when he comes back, it's just a little bit longer, and then everyone can, knock out large chunks of that raid to hopefully, if you're not beating the heroic Sith, you are at that point. So
yeah,
definitely something we see often is a character comes out that just really makes some things trivial. So be nice.
Yeah.
I put a 5 on this one as well. I think he's just ridiculous. But 18% of people polled said a 5, so the OP side of it. And then the majority of people, 65%, went with a 4. So I'd say that's between 4 and 5 makes the most sense to me. I don't think he's probably going to be much lower than that. if you were to
How
rank
can he
his
be
kit.
a 4? How can he be a 4 though? Like he's the most
Well,
insane character this game's ever seen.
He's still beatable though. I mean,
Yeah,
he's not.
Is he though?
See,
Yeah, I mean,
this is another debate that we'll have because
Okay, sorry guys.
no, it's fine. It's just the amount of counters he's had so far. I gotta wonder what it is that's causing that to happen because, as you know, as game changers, we talk a lot, and most people have said, you know, I'm having a really hard time beating this team, you know. So I'm kind of curious, like, if people don't have all their Zetas on theirs yet, or the mods choices aren't there speed-wise, they don't have the mods for the speed, or what. But in my opinion, there's got to be something that's causing that to happen. And then I've seen a lot of different team comps that I'm not sure that I would run myself, and maybe that'd be part of it. But yeah,
Right.
definitely between 4 and 5 for me. There was 14% of people that said 3. And then
those people I strongly disagree with.
yeah. Well, then
Those
we
are the
got
guys that those are the guys that have Revan that they don't want anybody to know how good he is.
You're like, no, you don't want him. Well, that'll
He's
be the
not
next
good.
two
You
because
guys
4 people said he was a 2, and let's see here, 2 people said he was a 1. So those are they're like, you do not want to get this guy. I'm telling you.
Indeed. All right.
Question 3.
All right, question 3. Which do you feel is the most needed Zeta? So I wanted to see, you know, what people thought, what they were going to put on him. And before I answer this question, I just want to say this. When I did my testing, I didn't do any Zetas on Revan to start and started playing. I could not beat your CLS Chewbacca team, Wink, once with Revan without those Zetas on him. Like, he just kept getting wrecked, which is part of why I think that, you know, maybe the defense has something to do with, you know, Zetas and such. But, yeah.
Which comp were you using? Who were you using with Revan?
I was using Revan, Jolie, Bastila, General Kenobi, and Grandmaster Yoda.
Okay.
So, the team that I personally think is the best at the moment. But, yeah, they could not get it done until I put the Zetas on Revan. So, in my opinion, for this question,
Interesting.
maybe there's 1 or 2 you don't need, but I'd say all 3 is probably a pretty good bet. Let me just read off what they are real quick. Direct Focus. Okay. So you got Direct Focus, which is apparently I can't read this. Hold on.
It's very lengthy.
Yeah, Direct
All
Focus.
Of these are novels.
This is his. This is the one that does the Force Taunt. So add buff immunity for 2 turns, which can't be resisted, copied or dispelled, and increase their cooldowns by 1 and stun the target for 1 turn. So this is one that adds a little bit more to the focus multi-call that he has. Then you get the Zeta for General of the Old Republic, his leader, and that is just a page long. Add whenever a Jedi ally attacks out of turn, they recover 20% of their max protection and deal 35% more damage. When a Jedi ally uses a basic ability on the enemy with bonus protection, reduce the target enemy's max health by 10% stacking. Doesn't work against raid bosses. Jedi allies begin the battle with tenacity up for 1 turn. So not only, there's 2 parts of that are pretty huge, right? That's the protection regain when they attack out of turn, because you can get a lot of people into a Jedi team that call assists, which really starts to heal people. But then just to get everyone with tenacity up at the beginning of the battle is another huge one. It seems like 2 Zetas worth in 1 there.
And that really affects team. I mean, a lot of these other teams are running around. I guess Traya has the mass dispel, and the Rebels now have the mass dispel with Chewie. But, you know, if you're doing, you know, the way you generally set those teams up, those characters probably aren't going to be the fastest characters. So, yeah, it can be lead to some issues.
You definitely get your character's worth for that Zeta. So,
yeah,
plenty of letters for your Zeta. They're probably the best letter to Zeta ratio of any Zeta in the game.
Did you guys see that pic on Reddit where it was like the ability in 2018 and it's it's a Revan's ability, and then it was like the ability in 2016 and it was like Dooku's leadership, and it was just like, a sentence.
A couple sentences. That's crazy. I can imagine.
It was
man.
such a simpler time.
Yeah.
Well, I compared like First Order Executioner, brand new character. You look at his kit, 3 abilities, all pretty short, very good character. And then a Jedi Revan comes out, and you're like, let me get my interpreter.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
When we got that kid, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Dan. I was just saying, when we got that kid, I was just like, I saw the leader ability. I was like, oh my God. I think I read it like 6 times, and I still, I was like.
Well, it's hard to read it in game because you get such a small window, so you scroll like forever to read his whole ability.
Yeah, no kidding. And what's kind of nice, or I say nice, interesting, is they just released Chewbacca, who has a very simple kit, especially for a legendary character. I mean, it's about as basic as you would expect a kit that's that good to be. And then we go to Revan, who is a novel. So, yeah.
So the last Zeta is Hero. Add Jedi Knight Revan is immune to stun and ability block, and other light side allies also gain half of these bonuses. That does not... You can't gain half a stun and half an ability block, so that goes to a different part of the ability. Every time I read that on Swugga, it throws me off. But the bonuses are doubled when the Revan is the leader slot and not the ally slot. So it doubles all the stat increases he gives, and also he's immune to stun and ability block. So that's another really good one, because not being able to be ability blocked or stopped from using an ability every single turn is just... It makes you a wrecking ball.
Yep.
So...
Absolutely. So, what on these percentage breakdowns, there was basically 45% of people that said you need all 3. And of course, we'll have a link to this in the show notes so you can go see the breakdown. But the next 2 largest chunks of the pie were the out of turn protection recovery. That was 25%. And then the third most was having the out of turn heal and the immune to stun and ability block. 18% said those 2 were needed. So that covers a big, massive section of that pie.
Yeah, and it's funny because only one person put that, direct focus was needed, was just absolutely needed. But the biggest part of the pie was all 3 having that one in it. And then if not the 3, the other 2. So that one just, you either get them all, or you only get the other 2. Yeah. It's pretty...
Yeah.
Here's a question. Do either of you have CLS or RJT, all 3 Zetas?
No.
I do CLS. I do not RJT.
I think I just have the leaders on both of them, and that's it.
Oh, really?
I think I have IBAT and the leader ability on CLS, and I think I only have 1 or 2 on RJT, but not maxed out. It's just something I was curious about, because I'm going to max him out, which will be the first one with 3 Zetas for me, but I never really thought I needed all 3 for the other 2 characters. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Question 4.
If you're waiting for round 2 of Revan, what is your early arena counter team plan for him? So this is tailored right to you, Urza, because if you're not going after him, you've got a plan ahead. What is your plan?
So my plan, so the only thing that I have found that has worked with semi-effectiveness is a Maul lead. I just put a video on this tonight where it's Darth Maul, and you have the Triumvirate, and basically in that last slot you have Nest, and hopefully like a max Nest. So at the start of the fight, Maul's going to stealth all with a Sith. All that opening fire goes to Nest, and she just sits there and just takes a beating for like literally 5-10 minutes. And you just watch her health bar just shrink and shrink and shrink, and she sometimes she doesn't even get a turn, But what I found is just having that, when under Maul lead Dancing Shadows, whenever they get crit, they stealth. And that kind of spreads the damage around and really allows you to play catch up with just the amount of offense that's happening there. And then you can get to an Annihilate, you can get to Held by Hatred, and that really opens up the fight at that point. So, and AoE days on Maul, he may be squishy, but he's still got some tricks, man. And that was the only team that kind of would reliably win for me. So I think you can do it with CLS. But again, I only have the one Zeta on my CLS. So I don't know. I may be pivoting to a Sith-led team, and I'm okay with that now because, I was very anti-Traya for a long time, but now she's not the best anymore, so I can do it with ease now.
That AoE D's is D's.
D's.
AOL. Good lord.
AOL.
AOL.
Is this
AOE
2018
days. All right,
or 1998? God.
Your AOL days. Everyone had that. It's called dial-up. But that's a really good counter idea for that team because obviously all the protection regain comes from attacking out of turn. So if people aren't assisting, all those things, that's a really cool. You put that video out tonight, you said?
Yeah, right before I went off to dinner, I rushed it out and got it out, and it was something we saw on Mobile Gamer stream. I got to give him total credit, but yeah, we put it together and it works pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Check it out.
To check it out for sure.
What's the link where people can find that?
I'll have to get that for you, Wink. I don't want to. Let's see here.
This is where you just plug your channel.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Subscribe.
No. Urzatron. Yeah.
All right, so we will have Urzatron's YouTube link in our show notes on the website and everywhere else you want to check it out. But yeah, definitely some awesome stuff on there. I'm gonna check that video out. The other counters they had listed, this was a write-in, so these numbers don't get tallied up because if someone writes a name wrong, it doesn't put it the same. So I'll just go over some of the ones we see here. 11 people said Traya, so there's one. 4 people said Night Sisters. 2 people said avoid him, so that's a pretty good counter. 2 others
Fair
said
enough.
prayer is a good counter. Ewoks, and then you get into the real fun ones. I'm screwed, not sure yet. No worries, my arena shard won't have him. LOL cry, Cup and Ugnaught, losing quickly. None. Avoidance. There isn't one. I almost read that one and I shouldn't have. But it's a lot of they've got a couple of the answers that we've seen for teams that beat Revan on the first day, along with a lot of people saying that, I'm just not going to deal with them, push it off as long as you can. So we'll see what happens. But one thing we mentioned last week, and I'll see if you agree with this, Urza, is that with these characters, sometimes they spend a lot of time in the meta. Like Treya's been in the meta for a long time, but over time, the new things come out that make it it makes it easier, let's say, right? And I think that before we even see Revan again, something may be added or reworked or something that just totally comes into the meta and makes it easier for people that already have those characters or get them, right? So I don't know, you guys agree with that. I'm sure that even if you don't get Revan this time, I don't think you're going to have to wait till Revan comes back to be meta, in the meta, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I will tell you the one thing I am kind of concerned about is you kind of have to decide if you're going to get Revan now, and we haven't seen the Road Ahead posts, so there could be something interesting in there that may make it to where you do want Revan, although I kind of wonder if that's the case, I guess, because if that's the case, it would make sense to go ahead and get that out sooner, maybe? I don't know. I'm still surprised we have not got that yet, but hopefully soon. We'll see.
Well, we had, 2 iterations of CLS before Territory Battles came out, which needed CLS, I believe. So
I think that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if we need anything for Revan, it'll probably drop with his event. So we'll see what happens, though. this is a fun question I had just because of the way this whole thing was rolled out, and I know you know about this, Urza. But I asked the question, be honest, before reading this question, did you realize that the same day Revan gameplay was put out, they announced a marquee event for the B-28 Extinction Class Bomber? And surprisingly, 88% of people did see that he is getting a event and that there were videos on it and everything else. So a little more than I thought there was, but still 11% of people didn't even know that was a thing and had to go look it up after reading the poll.
It really flew under the radar.
It did,
I have to agree. That release has been one of the quietest ones that we've had for any type of unit in this game. Probably the quietest.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like putting out a mouse droid next to Jedi Luke. Like, there's also a mouse droid. You can pay for mouse droid.
I love my droids, so I might be into that.
yeah. The Hoda version for droids.
Right.
The mouse droid.
All right,
question. This is on you. This one's on you, Wink.
Oh. All right, guys, help me out. Do you think I can unlock Revan for under 200 from the state that I am at, which were the shard numbers I mentioned earlier? There were 21% that said yes, 22% that said no, and then 17% said maybe, but why? 15% said probably not, but worth a try. And 25% said, Wink, bro, what are you thinking? So,
bro,
I saw your T3 and that was my answer.
As I was hoping. Nice.
I saw your T3 and that's what I said. If your T3 was like halfway to 6 stars, I might feel a little better trying to push you to do something that. But man, that T3 is rough. Even adding 50, you don't even get to 6 stars. So it's.
I
know you're better at the maths than me. I know. So.
I like the math aspect of all this stuff. Yeah. All right, let's jump into this next thing.
Strong with us, this update is Young Padawans.
All right, so the content update this week. They did some changes to ally points. We're not going to be getting those from free events anymore. If you're not spending energy, you're not getting ally points. And the TLDR is basically the economy is in imbalance, so they're working on that. They're doing some stuff as far as the weekly shipments to help make ally points a little bit more useful, which they are doing. Did you guys buy the mod slicing material that showed up in this week's shipments?
I don't think I actually haven't looked at them today, so I probably will buy them if they're for ally points.
There's some ally point ones, and then they changed it from gear to slicing material for the credits as well. So
I'll probably end up getting those. Yeah, yeah. Wasn't it the same gear pieces for credits, or was it credits? Yeah, for the last 2 weeks.
2 weeks. But it's always those thermals. I think it was thermals that were in there, and I always need those things, so I was always happy to see them.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing any gear in there that I really needed that much. I could be wrong though.
I feel like the first week they had that, it had the best value in there, it's slowly gotten not as sweet as it used to be.
Well, that's because there were Omegas in there. 60k ally points for 2 Omegas. Yes, please, absolutely.
But even the cuffs in there, like, I mean, you can never have enough cuffs, right? Like,
no,
for credits and
can't. So talking about this ally point change, right? The reasoning they mentioned was they had to get control of the economy of ally points, because everyone, if you've been playing forever and didn't even spend these, there's plenty of people with over millions of these things, right?
Right.
So, and if you only can spend them in weekly shipments for large chunks, you're only spending 50. So by the time you used 1 million, that's how many weeks if you weren't gaining any ally points at all. So they're trying to find a way to shrink that number a little bit. The question is why. So my question is, what what are we going to be getting, or what are they thinking of doing with this? Because if it's just to stop how much you get and leave what's currently there, I don't understand the change. But it really makes me think something is going to be done for ally points in the future, and I'm really curious what that is.
It makes me think the exact opposite, actually. I kind of think that what they're wanting you to do is they're giving you, every week, they're giving you a way to basically spend the ally points you've earned that week, for a decent value if you want to. But in return for that, you have to actually spend energy to get ally points rather than just piggybacking off events and getting it for free. I kind of think that that's what they're thinking. I kind of think these changes mean that they're not going to do anything else with ally points. Maybe add more pieces of gear to the weekly store, something like that. But I don't think we'll ever see anything else that you really need ally points for, like tournaments at one point. I don't think we'll see anything like that.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I would agree. I think they have enough currencies in this game to where, sim tickets have become obsolete now. And I think this is just, I don't know, probably just let's just reduce the number people are getting so it's less of an issue and less of a thing that people can point out and go, why do I have these? Or,
Yeah, exactly.
So one thing that I want to ask on that, and this involves math, Swink, so you can try to figure this out after the podcast, but taking that out, do you make enough in ally points to buy the weekly thing every week and bring yourself back down to 0? Or does this make it so you're back down to 0? Because I thought the number that you got weekly, even with the free stuff, was around 50 to 60.
Yeah, it's roughly around 60. And I think I think what you just said is part of the point, is that they want to encourage you to spend enough refreshes to be able to cycle through and fill those ally points back up to buy the weekly shipment every week.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
I did the math on it at one point. I don't remember exactly what it was, but that would make sense. All right, there was a content update. They added the B-28 Extinction Class Bomber. That event will be on October 25th as a marquee, I believe. So make sure you don't do what I did on Mission T3 and just forget the damn thing. Make sure you do it, just in case. You never know. So at some point we will be talking about that. And then Embo got moved to light side hard 8C, right?
I was about to say,
yeah.
Stop getting everyone's hopes up.
Yeah, what are you, trolling?
God, another dark side? Are you kidding me? Yeah, I keep thinking at some point there's not going to be anywhere to put anyone on the dark side. You got to start putting somebody else on light side. I don't know. I really, really wish they would move it, or move some of the new characters that they're moving in. Maybe Django will be light side.
Yeah, I just wonder what their thinking is for putting everything on dark side, just to have people farm up like Rose and stuff. Like, I mean, I don't know. What is the thought process they have there?
You know what? You just brought up a good question, and then
Forest Rose farming.
As you asked it, it made me think. It would be interesting to go back and look through what characters are on light side hard nodes, and if they have doubles anywhere else in the game. Because if they are having to take someone off a light side hard node, they might not have other hard nodes, so they'd have to put that character somewhere else and switch and move things around. So maybe that's why they're all going to dark side. But man, it would really be nice to not have to do 3 attempts on Rose every day. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's like some sort of metrics in terms of, because the dark side, to do dark side, it's been so long since, to do the dark side node, you have to have dark side characters, right? Or is it the other way around? You have to have light side characters?
Yeah. You use dark side on dark side, yeah. And
so
that's why it's so difficult starting out in the game, because you go with these good light side characters in the beginning, and you can kind of mow through those first battles. But then it's like for newer players or even mid-game players, getting through those dark sides can be total hell.
So I guess my thought was maybe there's the popularity of light side characters is just everybody wants to play the hero maybe, and maybe that's why they just put the more desired characters on the dark side so people adequately farm both sides.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that's
speculating.
For the longest time up until the Sith rose in the arena, the light side was kicking butt. So
well, I mean, we do have to give him this though. I mean, Zalbar is 5D of light side, and
he's on light side.
Jolie Bendo, yes, he is. Jolie is 60 dark side, so he's definitely more difficult to get to than Zalbar. But yeah, Zalbar is light side 5, so not too terribly difficult to get to. So who knows? We'll see what happens in the future with those.
So
that's
basically what you're saying is they finally released someone on light side, and I ended up getting him through packs instead of actually farming him on the light side.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love it. Thank you.
You paid so that you wouldn't have to farm a character from light side. How's that make you feel?
Oh, it hurts my heart. But then I look at Revan in my roster and I think, oh, I'll be okay. Everything will be fine.
It's true. It's true.
All right, so we got a bunch of people in the live stream, so I think we need some sweet blues for this next thing. All right, so I am going to write down a number in the notes. I'm going to pick a number 1 through 100, and the first person in the live chat to guess that number is going to win a pretty cool prize. You guys be looking out for the number while I tell everyone what the prize is.
I need the number.
So, it is in the notes. If you would check the show notes. Yes, it is there. All right, so this is the Yeti plus Assassin's Creed Odyssey bundle. It comes with a Midnight Blue or Blackout Yeti and a PC digital copy of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. This is a pretty good deal. You can actually go and buy this for $140. So you're getting the Yeti and Assassin's Creed Odyssey for $140. You can go buy it on Amazon. It's select retailers, but Amazon is one of those places you can get it. So if you want one of those, if you're going to get Assassin's Creed anyway and you need Yeti, you can go buy it there. And I see somebody hit the number.
I already announced the winner in chat, so people would stop. But they never stop, so they'll just keep going. But
I missed it.
The winner was Jay Swizzy Swole. So congratulations to Jay Swizzy Swole.
Yay!
You win. But my favorite answer goes to the Empire Rising with Threve, a mixture of 3 and 5. I don't know if you guys remember
nice.
SNL Celebrity Jeopardy. You're the man.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Threve.
Nice. All right, so Jay Swizzy Swole, make sure message me on Discord and message me right now, and I will get your information sent over, and we will make sure we get you your prize. Very exciting stuff. And do that right now if you can. All right. So why don't we talk about the really awesome, amazing novel known as Jedi Revan's Kit?
Sounds good to me.
Let's do it.
Hit the
I don't
sound.
really have anything to play for this one.
Thunder.
Here, we'll go with this. Oh, okay, that works. Always liking to use the thunder sound drop. It's a good one.
Well, we all know a storm is coming, so there you go.
Ah, that's true. Indeed. All right. Let's see. Jedi Knight Revan. Oh, this is gonna be a lot of fun. You guys ready for this?
I'm so ready.
Let's do it.
Over the top.
All right. Jedi Knight Revan. Alignment Dark. Categories: Jedi, Old Republic, and Attacker. He is a fabled
Wait,
Jedi leader who controls the battle with a wide mix of powerful abilities.
Did you
I was
say
in the
dark?
zone. What are you trying to stop me for?
It sounded like you said alignment dark.
Did I?
Yes. you did.
Alignment light. Oops.
Oh, okay. Whoopsie.
Oops. He's Revan. I expect him to be dark. No.
Ugh.
Alignment light. That's really hard to say. Yeah. All right.
Light side. For those of you that did not know, he is light side.
Yeah. That happens. All right. So abilities. His basic is ferocious. God, I cannot speak. Ferocious
Sounded like you said
charge.
bacon
There
earlier,
we
too.
go.
Yes, I heard that too.
The bacon.
His
I was
bacon
like, man,
ability
I didn't know.
is ferocious charge.
I would have farmed him
Dude,
for
what's
sure if I
funny
had
about
known there
that?
was bacon.
Yes.
Yeah,
He throws
I
bacon.
had bacon for dinner, so yeah.
It's on
Bacon's
his mind.
still on the mind. It's good stuff. All right, so this the bacon ability is the final text of it. Deals special damage to target enemy. This attack deals 25% more damage to dark side enemies. If the target is marked, Revan gains 20% turn meter. This doesn't seem too bad. Pretty simple.
Yeah. You can totally tell that they wanted him to take down parts of this meta for sure. Dark side, extra damage. A lot of dark side in that arena right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, there is. And it's kind of nice because up until this point, Jedi really hadn't had a direct counter to any sort of Sith, but we've seen from the very beginning with Emperor Palpatine had anti-Jedi abilities. So I think this was definitely needed for the Jedi.
Oh yeah, for sure.
His first special is Master Strategist with a 3-turn cooldown. Final text: deals special damage to all enemies. Revan dispels all debuffs on Jedi and Old Republic allies. Then Revan heals all Jedi and Old Republic allies by 10% for each Jedi and each Old Republic ally. Revan gains critical damage up and foresight for 3 turns. Swap turn meter with target other Jedi. God, there is so much going on. And there's a lot of combining Jedi and Old Republic to help combine the synergy of the 2 primary factions that he is a part of. And then he has a very much Thrawn feature with the tournament, which I love.
Dude, so it's hilarious to me with this ability. You could take out the last sentence and it would be awesome. But
Right.
just the simple fact that he does an AoE, he does an ability, and then gives someone 100% turn meter to take another turn. This is like Thrawn's ability on steroids, because not only does Revan heal everyone, he doesn't just heal the person he swaps with like Thrawn does. He heals everyone that's an Old Republic or Jedi ally, then gives them turn meter, plus does damage with an AoE, plus the dispel. Like, so many things going on here. It's absolutely crazy.
I just love the flexibility with that turn meter swap. I mean, it's been so great with Thrawn, and now it's on light side and with the best character in the game. So it's that swapping gives you so much versatility in arena just to do whatever you need to do. I mean, especially on offense, it's fantastic.
And the thing with Grand Admiral Thrawn is he cleanses the person he swaps turn meter with. Revan cleanses everybody who is Old Republic or Jedi on the team whenever he does the turn meter. So it's kind of like Thrawn's ability on steroids.
Yeah, it's definitely on steroids. So
it is pretty legit. And I love the animations for this ability where he like throws his lightsaber around and it hits everybody. It is super awesome looking.
Yeah, all
It
his
reminds
animations
me-
are really well done.
I know it's the Force, but it kind of reminds me of that Fleet Arena pet peeve I have where the ship with the thrusters in the back of the ship will somehow fly sideways across the rest of the ships and shoot them from the front. Like, what? So he's throwing it
The
from
swoop.
here, and unless these lightsabers are bent like a boomerang, like how is this thing? It's got to be the Force. I can understand it's the Force for this one. The ship one still bugs me, but this,
Yeah.
he's using the Force to spin that thing in a circle, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, that would definitely make sense. All right, his second special is called Direct Focus. It has a 3-turn cooldown. Final text, this is with the Zeta ability. Inflict buff immunity and marked on target ally for 2 turns. These effects can't be resisted, copied, or dispelled. Increase target enemies' cooldowns by 1, reduce their turn meter by 50%, and stun them for 1 turn. This attack cannot be evaded. Call all Jedi allies to assist, dealing 50% less damage. Marked. All enemies will target this unit. So the cool thing I like about this is we did something not too long ago where we were talking about buffs or debuffs that we would like to see brought into the game. And I think this was something that you mentioned was like a way
Force
to
taunt.
make the enemy taunt. Yeah. And that is basically what this does. This is what Death Mark should be. But you know what? I wonder if this works on counters. Do either of you know? I think it does.
Works on counter.
Oh, if they counter, they're going to counter the guy that's marked and not the person that hit him.
Yeah.
I think it does work like that.
Because that would give Revan some usability in a, checks style team in phase 3. Might be able to run some sort of, Jedi counter team, perhaps. Not sure how well that would work, but, just a thought. Because that's the reason what's his name, Death Troopers in the team is for the Death Mark, which
Right.
Forces the counters to actually hit Traya. So, and the other is increasing the cooldowns. It's like there's parts of Traya's ability in here. You have the marked ability, which is kind of like Death Mark. It's super special and just super awesome. And then turn meter reduction and calling allies to assist. Very, very awesome. I'm a big fan.
This ability is the one that makes it Old Republic allies not as optimal in the team with him to me. Because the fact that he calls in all Jedis but does not call Old Republic allies on this ability makes me have a harder time wanting to put those guys in the team.
Right. It just makes you wonder why they made that design choice. Like,
yeah, for sure. Considering every other thing goes to both except for this.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Good question.
Interesting.
All right, I'll give you a break because that's a lot of words you read, and I'll read the leader ability.
All right, Dan.
What'd you say? Okay, you're doing things. All right, General of the Old Republic, Zeta leader ability. Here it is. This takes up almost the entire page on my Safari window, so here we go. At the start of the battle, Jedi and Old Republic allies gain 5 speed, 5% crit chance, and 5% offense for each Jedi and each Old Republic ally. I'll stop there and make a note on that. It does double for your Bastila and Jolie, since they are both... Okay, let me stop there. We've been told both. Crumb has said it does not. Capgask has said it does. And I don't know where it stands, to be honest, at this point. But the
I heard both. I heard both is what it was. But Capias is the designer, the character designer, right? Doesn't he?
Wait, are we talking about the speed crit chance thing?
Yes.
I know what you're talking about, and it was a technicality as far as they would gain it twice. Like, it's not necessarily doubled.
Okay.
I think one person said it was doubled, and then somebody corrected them and said it's not doubled, but they do get that twice. Even though it is the same thing, I think it's like a technicality on
by the
how
wording.
it actually works. Yes.
Okay.
So Jolie Bendo, who is Jedi and is also Old Republic, will add +5 speed twice, +5% crit chance twice, so for a total of 10 speed, 10% crit chance, and the 10% offense total. But yeah.
Okay, so that's the first sentence of this ability. We'll move on. At the start of battle, Jedi allies gain tenacity up for 1 turn. While Revan is the leader slot and not the ally slot, units are immune to bonus turn meter effects from leader abilities until the start of the first turn of the battle. So basically, speed with Revan as the lead is what is going to lead to who starts first. If it's a leader ability, okay, so or unique bonuses and those types of things. But a leader ability that adds speed is not going to make your team go first against the Revan lead. Whenever a Jedi ally attacks out of turn, they recover 20% of their max protection and deal 35% more damage. When a Jedi ally uses a basic ability on an enemy with bonus protection, reduce the target enemy's max health by 10%. Stacking doesn't work against raid bosses. At the start of each Jedi ally's turn, they gain strategic advantage if no ally has strategic advantage. A Jedi with strategic advantage cannot be countered. Strategic advantage. Dispel all debuffs on target other Jedi ally. They gain strategic advantage and assist using their basic ability. This character uses their basic ability and loses strategic advantage. This, mixed with everything else that's going on in here, that strategic advantage is one of my favorite things about an all Jedi team with Revan, because you can just chain assists or double attacks almost every other turn, because it has a 1 turn cooldown, I think. So so not only are you chaining assists, you're getting protection back, you're dispelling all the debuffs on the person you're giving it to. You're gaining all of those extra things for attacking out of turn. You're using your basic, so if they're hitting someone with a debuff, your what was it? If they hit someone with bonus protection, it reduces their max health 10% stacking. I mean, it does all kinds of stuff just by flowing around these assists, and that's a lot of the reason why, you know, people like these Jedis with Revan, because a lot of Jedis have assist abilities. Ezra, Jolie, like there's a lot of them out there. Some I haven't mentioned, like Qui-Gon, because no one's been using Qui-Gon that I've seen, but there's a lot of assist abilities for Jedi, so a lot of stuff going on there. Go ahead.
More versatility. Go ahead, Wink. Sorry.
I was going to say, one thing kind of touching on your video about the mall lead, what I think is really interesting is the main reason that people used to use mall lead is because you go before the other team, daze them, and they can't really do a whole lot. But this leader ability negates what used to be the most important part about Maul's leader ability, was the 20% turn meter gain right off the top. They don't get that whenever they're going up against. So I find it interesting that that is kind of one of the counter teams that people are talking about.
Yeah, and then the stealth now is the way of just directing traffic, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I do like strategic advantage. I think it's a lot of fun to play with too. And it's more versatility, just being able to, I mean, if you need an attack out of somebody, if you just want to bounce it back and forth between your attackers, or if you want to force someone to gain some protection back, you can use it there as well. It's a fun ability on offense. That I will totally agree with you, Dan.
And then I'll tell you this much: I finished the event with gear 2 Gear 9s, Mission and Bastila, and everyone else Gear 8. So I went through the whole journey with those characters. And just decent mods. I didn't put arena mods or anything on them. But that last battle against the Tarantatak, whatever, however you would say its name, the mini Rancor, basically, he took out Mission, T3, and Zalbar, like, immediately. But with the Jedi Revan lead on those guys, along with Bastila's lead, he was taking people close to the near edge of death over and over, and that thing had so much health, it was crazy. But being able to heal with strategic advantage and being able to use Revan's AoE to heal, you can drive all the way through that with those 3 characters because of the assists, the strategic advantage, and Revan's heals, along with Jolie's heals. You got enough heals in that team with just 3 people, even under geared or around the gear, because Tier 6 was supposed to be Gear 9. It was built for Gear 9 characters, and I used 2 Gear 8s and the event Revan, and was able to get through it because of the heals, because of that ability. So it has a huge PvE advantage there, and I could see how that could be used in other events in the same way for sure.
Indeed.
Like, I can't wait for the assault battle for Jedi to come back around the next time, because I didn't have Revan geared for the one that came out the same day as the event. So I'm really looking forward to see how easy that makes the heroic version of that event.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. I got to use my Basilisk Sean lead this time and was able to auto it, so that was pretty nice. I remember when that thing used to be a chore.
Yeah. Oh, man, that was a good one. Yeah, long time ago.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's funny. Isn't that a weird feeling how you go back and play some of these old events and you're like, I remember being able to struggle with this thing and like being so frustrated. I still have issue with the Night Sister Phoenix one, just because my Phoenix is garbage and my Night Sisters are pretty garbage as well. Where that the 4th round or whatever, when Palp does that big swipe and exposes everybody and like will down 2 people, like I still have issues with that one.
Yeah, it's funny too, because the Jedi one is Jedi and Ewoks, and I threw my Gear 12 Ewoks, which I have a couple Zetas on in there, and they don't even get anywhere close to beating the heroic version. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know, but that one is really tough. Some of those events, like for the longest time, before we started getting this more Sith, the one where you fought the Ewoks always just wiped the floor with me.
I still think that it's got a challenging mythic or final tier of that one. I have to do some weird comp with that, with like BB-8 with like Sith and like Empire. Like it works, but it's
right.
It's a fun fight.
I got some news in the chat. Revan lead can auto the mythic. All right, well, I'll be there soon.
I would hope so.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump to his first unique ability, Savior. This one does not have a Zeta. So while another Jedi ally is active, Revan ignores taunt. The first time another Jedi ally would be reduced to 1% health. If Jedi Knight Revan is active, they recover 100% of their max health and protection, gain critical hit immunity for 2 turns, and take a bonus turn. While Jedi Revan is in the leader slot and not the ally slot, he can also be saved by Savior. This is so frustrating because I totally forgot about this ability the first time I fought one of these teams, and I was like, oh, Grandmaster Yoda's really weak. Like, my Han is a monster. I'm like, I will just double tap him, call Chewie in, and be done with him, and the whole team will fall apart. That is a huge, huge mistake. Because this ability obviously buffs him. He gets the turn, and then everyone's buffed with all these freaking abilities. And it went downhill very, very quickly. It is quite the interesting ability. It's kind of like an auto revive, but not quite. Do either of you know 100% for sure? I do believe that Annihilate kind of bypasses this because it doesn't actually reduce health.
Yeah, no, Annihilate's gone is gone.
So that is your one way to get around this.
Except that means it wouldn't trigger, so the next person that dies, if they're not annihilated, will come back. So you're not getting rid of the ability, you're only getting rid of the ability for that one person to come back. So if you're...
I think that's right.
Yeah, if you're not annihilating every single person on the other team, the first person you kill is still going to come back. So you better annihilate the one you want and not choose one badly, because that would probably end badly.
Indeed.
But the fact that it's 100% health and protection and crit immunity on the revive is just out of control.
Yeah.
And it's also not that just that stuff. It's the bonus turn. I mean, getting 100% turn meter is awesome. Like, anytime you can take full turn meter, absolutely. I mean, you have to be pretty strategic about the way you go about trying to take out these Jedi, because if you get close to taking out the wrong one, I mean, they're gonna be back up, ready for a turn, and
now what do you guys typically target? I usually find myself going after Grandmaster because he's just the squishiest of the bunch to try and just get that to trigger. Do you guys do it differently?
Not anymore. Yep. I go after Revan. Yeah, I went after Revan, and the only person I lost was Old Ben, because I used Commander Luke, R2, Han, Chewie, and Old Ben. Old Ben was the only one that I lost against a really, really good Revan team by targeting Revan first. Revan did not have the Zeta that makes him immune to stun, though, but I did find that right off the bat, he was pretty easy to kill. So I kind of think that's probably going to be the best route for me to go in general.
I'll be honest. I've fought a lot of offense with Revan. I have not fought any defense because most of my testing was done at work, and I work at night. So overnight, I had Wink put in a team, and I did a lot of offense fights. But I have not fought any in my live arena. I haven't fought any in the test account yet, so I don't know how annoying this is for the other team or to fight it. I know how awesome it is when you're using it on offense. So
how many are you guys seeing in your personal arena, on your mains?
I know a 5, I believe. I'm gonna go and just check and see how many I see.
So the last time I looked was, I asked in my arena shard chat before the event even started. I said, "Who's getting Revan?" And everyone said they weren't. And then, everyone that answered said they weren't. And then the event came around, and I've seen one person from our shard has him, and one person out of our shard has him, and that I've only seen the 2. So there's the 2, and then there will be mine, and that's all I've seen so far.
Mine has 4 in the top 30.
It's not. Yeah, I would say that's. Yeah, I was speculating before this whole event came out, and I was going to say it was 5 for us probably that would have it. Just the same old kind of whales that we see, and I think we have 2 or 3 right now that have already got him geared all the way up.
Yeah.
Those freaking Carbonis, man. Mine's just got to gear 9 after the 100 Carbonis I had to farm yesterday. So
how many does he take in total? I think it's like
4 hundo. Yeah, and I had 12 when I unlocked him, so I'm having a good time with it.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Dang.
Pretty much everything's gone to Chewbacca and then to the Old Republic, and now it's like, hey, Revan, I don't have anything for you. You're just going to have to hang out for a little bit.
I'm kind of surprised that the whole timing of this didn't draw more criticism with everybody being depleted around Chewie on the heels of that. I mean, it's fine. It's the community seems to be okay with it, but I thought it would, for sure, there would be a narrative around that.
I saw a few people mention that, but not as many as you would expect. It was more about just people wanting more time to farm rather than just the fact that it was so close to Chewie.
And I think you probably have a bulk of the population that's not even going to get him, so it's like not even worth complaining about at that point.
That's probably true too.
Yeah.
For me, it was, I would complain, but up until Saturday, I think it was this past Saturday, I didn't even think I was gonna get him, so I changed my tune on that. So if I had known I was gonna do that, then I probably would have not geared Chewbacca. I would have not geared Chewbacca to gear 11 like I had been working so hard on, because now I'm going to use him in plenty of places, but not in arena. So I would have liked to put the gear I put on him onto Revan. But I can't fault anyone for that but myself, because I didn't know I was going to do it, So
Right.
whatever. Yeah. Treya will be fine in the arena until I can get him where he's going to go.
Nice. Let's go ahead and jump into his second unique, which is Hero. This ability does have a Zeta. Jedi Knight Revan is immune to stun and ability block. Revan has plus 10% tenacity, health steal, max health, max protection, critical hit avoidance, defense, and critical damage. Other light side allies gain half these amounts while Revan is active. These bonuses are doubled while Revan is in the leader slot and not the ally slot. God, there's a lot going on there. So his second unique is almost like an extra bonus to his leader ability.
It's almost like a R2-D2 Zeta.
It pretty much is.
Combat analysis, yeah.
No.
I mean that is the perfect example. I mean that's basically what three high-end characters in this game that he has stolen abilities from in some way, which is pretty cool actually, but also frustrating if you're battling against it, obviously.
I think what's interesting here is that these 3 Zetas he has, you look at the other characters with 3 Zetas, I think his are all, I mean, you can make arguments for the other ones that you don't need them. I think you need all 3 of these, man. They're just, there's not a bad one here. There's just not a bad one.
Yeah, it's I had 4 Zetas. I used one on Yoda, like I said earlier. I have 3 I'm going to give to Revan, but right now I'm at 73 mats, so I only need 7 more for another Zeta, and I think that other Zeta is going to go to Jolie after that. And it's just, I don't feel bad about using any of them, because I like all of the abilities that he has for Zetas. So
I love that Jolie is going to get some arena run here. It looks like I love that he was just a nobody, and now that ability, that res ability is just tricky. You got to pay attention to it, and it can turn the battle. I love that he was a nobody, and now he's going to have a chance.
Well, okay, so let me just say this. We haven't gone into really the event and too much about Revan and what we've seen with him, but I want to say this for Jolie. I've seen a lot of people that aren't high on Jolie in a Revan team, but let me just say this. So he can revive everyone with a lot of health and a lot of protection ready to go, and he can revive all of them. If 3 people are down, it's just him and someone else, he'll pull the other 3 up if you have a full Jedi team.
Yeah.
Which is already a great thing if you have him Zeta, for him to do that. But the other part is his other ability, the assist. It's not just an assist. He does more on that ability, but his assist ability calls in someone with no damage penalty. So he just says, here, he does certain things to the person you pick, and then they go and they attack, and there's no damage penalty. So basically you're calling an assist, and that assist has no damage penalty, and you get all of the bonuses from Revan's leader ability for attacking out a turn because of that bonus, or that ability. And that ability only has a 3-turn cooldown, so he uses it a lot. Like, overall, and his basic, I can't remember what his basic does, but it does have some good, I think, is it offense down? I can't remember. He has a pretty good, decent basic as well, but the abilities he has mixed with a Revan lead are really good, along with the fact that he gets 2 times the bonuses from that leader ability. It's just, he's a good pick for that team, and I don't know why people are down on it, but a lot of people have been putting Hoda instead of him, or him and Hoda in the same team. I think there's enough heals that you don't need Hoda, and if you have him in the team, you're going to be good enough if you put in another attacker.
I think the difference is people are probably more likely to have Hermit Yoda geared versus Jolie.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because he's such an amazing raid character that people really haven't hesitated on gearing him up for the most part, versus Jolie, who's still pretty fresh, and probably most people just got to 7 stars, so that probably factors into some degree.
Here's a question for Urza. All right. This is the Wink versus Punk challenge here, but as I'm really curious, who did you go for first, Wampa or Hoda?
Oh, Wampa! I went Wampa. I ran Wampa in Arena. I ran Wampa in Arena for 3 months with Rex.
That's my dude right there. Me and Wampa, best buds.
Yeah, that dude was fun when he first came out. First guy on my shard that had one, and just whomping fools, man. It was fun. He's a fun character.
Yeah, I love that dude.
That's true. He is fun, but man, Hermit Yoda is just.
Hey, Wink, who's your favorite character in all of Star Wars?
That's fair, Yoda.
All right,
yeah, that's fair.
You want to know what it is though? Hermit Yoda has been kind of ruined for me just because I don't think Bastila led teams are very fun to play. It's just so much foresight spam, and I don't know. It's just not a fun team to play. So for me, it's been kind of Hermit. I like Hermit Yoda's kit. I think it's cool. I think it's interesting. There are times when I find it frustrating where I'm like, why don't I have a 5th attacker here? You know, going against Traya.
Why do they only have to kill 4 of my dudes?
And
I will say, I mean, Hermit Yoda for me, I have had more fun using in very much non-Jedi teams. You know, whether it's phase 2 of the raid or with an Admiral Akbar lead in, you know, the AAT raid and stuff like that. But it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where I'm like in a battle and I'm kind of running like hybrid teams right now to climb an arena, but I'm like in a battle against Bastila versus Bastila, and I'm just watching 2 Hermit Yodas do the heal thing like every 3 seconds, and you just having to watch that over and over. It just takes up time, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me take us off the rails, and you know, that's what we like to do here. So there was a question in chat, and Urza, you said you like droids, so I'm interested what you think about this. And me and you talked about this earlier, Wink. Old Republic characters, as far as they go for what they're good for after you farm them to get Revan. Let's say Mission T3 and Zalbar outside if you don't use them with a Revan team. I'd say Zalbar and Mission have some good comps for territory wars and defense. I wanted to talk about T3 real quick. And I think you might know where I'm going with this, Wink. And it's from a comment in the chat. I think, and you can tell me if you agree with this, I think T3, when we finally get a character that brings the droids back into the meta, will be the nest character for a droid team. And
yeah, he's going to be, yeah, I'm totally with you 100%, man. That guy has he's got a sweet kit. Like, he's got turn meter removal. I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head. Turn meter removal. He can open with an AoE with like 10 debuffs that he can spread. His damage is strong. Repair kit's an amazing ability. And he's got target lock, which just, you know, if you pair him with 88 and IPD, you're locking stuff down and you're preventing protection, you're preventing health regen. I'm a huge fan of that guy. I actually run him in a team called, I've nicknamed Mommy's Metal, where I run him with Talzin, and it's designed to go second, and we spread target lock, and then you put the plague out there, and then nothing can get cleansed at that point, and they just die from plague. So
Interesting.
I think he's got a ton of
Is
interesting
that
ability, and
with
putting him
the
with those targets.
IG-88 lead?
Yeah, IG-88 lead, and and then you can run like Cassian or Thrawn in like the 5th spot, and you can just lock everything down. And it's cool. It's a cool team because it goes second. It lets them do all their stuff. Then you clear it all off with IPD, and then you lay down Plague and target lock, and it's sweet.
Interesting. I like it.
Yeah,
The one thing I thought
to-
about with T3 was using him with BB-8 because BB-8 offers the turn meter gain. Right
Yeah.
off the top. You could
Let me just
probably
read that
use...
ability so everyone knows
could
why we're
probably
talking
use
about it.
Okay, good idea.
So this
you
is
could
why I
probably-
brought this up. T3's ability, Carbonite Projector. This is what it is. And tell me how close this sounds to you to a Nest ability. The one that everyone gears her or mods her for speed for to get, right? Deal special damage to all enemies. Dispel defensive debuffs from anyone who have them. Bye-bye auto taunts. Then remove 20% turn meter and inflict crit chance down and offense down for 2 turns. Target locked enemies can't resist these crit chance and offense down debuffs. So basically, if he's going first and you're using BB-8 like Wink said, he's going to get more speed for the bigger chance to go first. If the AI uses this first, and obviously you will if you're using the team, you're dispelling the auto taunts, you're throwing down offense down and crit chance down and removing turn meter, hopefully getting it to where your whole droid team can go before the other team. That's where this idea comes from. So when someone
It's
asks me,
sweet,
when
yeah.
people ask me all the time, or not all the time, people talk about T3. Every time I think about it, I think T3 isn't thought of in a way that I've always thought of him, because I think that if something were to come along that did more with target lock for droid teams, I think a droid team with IG-88, IPD, BB-8, T3, and whatever came along would probably be really, really good. And for like a lot of the reasons that you're saying, even if like Talzin's spot there, if someone came and did something when target locked enemies couldn't heal, it would be perfect for that team, because it would really bring the whole thing together and bring it more synergy, because they'd all be droids.
I really like what they've done over the course of like the last year with that faction. It's been slow additions, and they've started incorporating target lock there, reworking kits over time. They're making a lot of those legacy droids better. So I'm really liking it. So
Yeah. And something else with T3 is if you're using an HK lead, T3 would be able to go back to back most likely if you have enough crit chance and just land 2 crits on the enemies with that AoE. So
that is true. And then you could put out his target lock too.
So I know this is going to sound crazy, guys, but I don't believe HK is the best droid leader anymore. AoE days is a thing, man. It can just derail all that stuff. I think Lobot's actually the better leader, and I'm not just saying that as a Lobot fanboy, but
well, but I think that's why T3 would be interesting in that team is the turn meter removal. But then you also have some ability blocks, so that 20% turn meter reduction would open a window to get a slower character like an IG-88 to actually be able to go and inflict ability block.
yeah.
And you could actually do something like that. But yeah, the AoE days is a big thing. But fortunately, there's only a couple characters that do that, and you probably wouldn't use droids against them anyway. So just an interesting thought for territory war.
For sure.
Yeah.
What's next? What do we got?
That is a fantastic question. I cannot remember. The next thing was I wanted to talk about, numbers, because I figured, why not? I like numbers. And the event. So, good night, Punk. I know some people probably saw your live stream, but I got 2 really big questions for you. What did you think of the event playthrough, the story mode, all of that? What did you think of the rewards? And also, I know you went crazy on those $6.99 packs. I want to know how many crystals per shard you were getting on those packs.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to scroll up through our chat here to find my spreadsheet. But as far as the event goes, the event was really, really awesome. I can say that. And it's funny because I somehow remembered to actually read the text before I went into each tier. So kind of like, I wasn't a KOTOR player, so I don't really know the story that well, but it was kind of cool to read it and to know. I don't even know if it followed the game that well, the story of the Ancient Journey, but reading the text and playing the game modes was really cool because the first tier is a not heroic. I'm so used to saying heroic Rancor. But the first tier was basically a mini Rancor fight, which was awesome. The last tier was a fight against the Terran attack. I still saying it wrong. The last one was that. That was super fun. The animations on that dude were really cool. Except, so neither of you have played it yet, but this dude, this big ass machine, this big monster will turn around and pick up a box, and then he will throw it at you and do an AoE. It's a cool animation, but when you've seen it for the first time, it really looks like he's just turning his butt to you, and then he bends over, and you're like, what the hell is happening right now? I fully expected a dust cloud or something to come out, and then he came around back with the box, and I'm like, oh, okay, it makes sense. But the first time he did it, I'm like, really? This is what we're going with? I don't know. Sorry, that's off this topic. But the whole thing was really cool. The rewards were really good. I especially like the 5 Zetas from Tier 5. That was pretty nice.
Ooh.
Throwing her 15 of each of the Rancor pieces on the first one, 15 of each of the heroic AAT pieces on the second one, along with Omegas and ship Omegas and Zetas. There's a lot of good stuff in there, especially for people that can't beat the whole event. As far as you can go, you're still getting good stuff. So I thought overall the event was really good. As far as the shards go, for me, doing the let me look. A quick Discord search will show me what we're looking for here on our chat here, but I thought the shard numbers for those packs were really good for me. Well, why don't I just go into this, what I was going to say from the start about this, because I really need to retract what I said last week, and I don't want everyone to look at me and say, you hated this last week, but then you bought Revan. Okay, so let me just say this. We talked about this. Revan, we talked about what price would you pay for Revan, and I said $300 seems fair to me. That's what a marquee character costs. If I could get it for that price, I might think about doing it. I looked at where my roster was with all the farming I had done, and I figured out that I was going to be able to do it for that. But I actually thought I'd do it for less. I ended up spending right about $310. So I did spend the $300. But the only reason that was even possible was because of those $6.99 packs, and because I didn't have anyone at 7 stars yet. So basically the pack total shards, the crystals per shard was about 28. Now that was because I got a 230 drop on Basilishan.
Ooh.
So
Ooh.
Taking out the 230 drop that most people would not
Spicy.
get, especially the 230 drop when I had her 6 stars, so it really didn't help me a lot. I really wish it was mission. But taking that one out, it was 46 shards, crystals per shard, which is really, really good. So
Yeah.
I got a lot of Zalbar drops. Like, I literally took him from 4-star to 7-star on these packs. Like,
Oh,
so many drops for Zalbar.
sounds nice.
The end result was me having to buy a T3 pack and then buy mission out of shipments, her shards out of shipments. But by that time, I was able to get her 7 stars before the event even started. So I was able to do it. I was able to do it for the price that the absolute highest price I would want to pay for the character. And let me tell you why I did it before people are mad that I did this when I said last week that you shouldn't. This is annoying and I'm mad about it. A marquee character, if you buy a marquee character, just came out, one character, if you're going to buy that character to 7 stars, you are going to pay, depending on drops, $200 to $300. $200 to $300, you are getting one single character. To get Revan, you needed 5 7-star characters to get a 6th 7-star character. For that price, for the same price as one marquee character, I was able to get 5 really good characters at 7 stars, along with the 6th character that I would argue is the best in the game, all 6 of them for that price. So the price of one marquee event, I was able to get 6 characters instead of 1. So in my opinion, making that work for me and using that money to the best of its ability with characters, it worked out for me. So that is why I did it, because the value seemed much higher to me than just going all in on Nest, which I have in the past, or like a Django or any of those other characters. Does that make sense to you guys?
I think that is the argument you have to take. You have to. I mean, that is the best possible argument to make for this. I mean, Dan, you said they're good characters. I would say most of them are really good characters. I still struggle with Zalbar sometimes. I know a lot of people like him. Whenever I've been using him, he's just I can't get him to work. I like missions damage. We talked about T3. He's fantastic. Jolie now has a purpose, so I think it's a good value. I can definitely agree with your logic there. Week, what do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree as far as the logic. I mean, if you're spending on a marquee character, I mean, I don't see where you would be complaining if you're that same price away on Revan. Like you said, I mean, it helps you finish out and knock out 5 characters. You get a 6th character that is probably the best character in the game, and that also frees up all your resources to start farming all the other stuff that is out there. So
that is
I think
one of the
overall,
biggest things to me.
Yeah,
I don't have to farm 3 refreshes on Bastila and Zalbar and Jolie anymore. I am free to go to the bounty hunters. I'm free to go back to Lando, who I wanted from the start, or young Lando, I should say. The people I want to farm, I can now go back to. Not to say that I didn't want those other characters, but these are the ones I wanted before those ones, So I'm free to go back to them.
Yep. I agree. So, I mean, if you're a Swogga spender, I mean, when you look at where you probably are, it's probably pretty good value. And this is kind of where I fall currently as far as deciding what to do, because I'm in a bit of a dilemma in which I am kind of within striking distance, and I think I could do it within the amount that I said I would do it for last week. And so the first thing that I look at is Zalbar, Mission, T3. Those are the 3 problems for me. I'm 90 shards out on Jolie Bendo, so it's pretty doable there. The $15 and the $30 packs where you get 50, basically $15 for 50 shards plus some other stuff are pretty good values. They actually net out to 47.13 crystals per shard. That's if you take like the price of a vault and divide it down into $30. So, basically 30% of what a vault would be, and look at that price based on packs. If you compare it to just, buying like a $10 and a $20 worth of crystals, it's even better value. But, or I should say, comparing it to the vault makes it better value. But I think that's not a bad deal at all, because whenever you look at, let's see, the cost per shards, I mean, you start getting up there in price pretty quickly. Whenever you're talking about energy and your node refreshes and everything, I don't really see the argument for avoiding those packs. And with the number of crystals they get you, it's pretty good value. And whenever I start looking at node refreshes, I pretty much I've past 2 days, I think I have done the 25 crystal refresh for fleet, the 50 crystal refresh for the regular, and that keeps me below the crystals per shard price of just buying them from shipments, which of course if you go shipments they are 80 crystals per shard, and doing the 50 crystal refresh and in regular and the 25 node refresh on fleet, that keeps you below that. So that's kind of what I consider to be pretty good value. And the other thing is T3 is where you're going to get a lot of value. If you are going for Revan, what I suggest people do is get mission shards from the shipments. This is if you need mission and T3. And farm T3, spin the 100, spin the 200 crystal refreshes on T3, because even at a 200 crystal refresh, it's only 60 crystals per shard, versus if you were to buy T3 from the shipments, you're looking at 80 crystals per shard. If you were spending the 200 crystal refreshes for mission, that's 80 crystals a shard. So you're getting a lot better value if you just farm T3 out from the cantina, because she's or he, she, it, that thing is on a 12 energy node versus the 16 like mission is. So buy mission from the shipments and farm the living snot out T3, and those $15 and $30 packs are pretty good value. Like I said, I think by doing that, buying those packs, I think I can do it for about 150, and I am tempted.
You're gonna do it. You're gonna.
I don't know. I'm on the fence. I am on the fence.
Here's the thing. You got to decide today if you are or aren't. You
I kind of do.
Wait 2 or 3 days to decide. So you're in a do or die moment right now, because it's going to be way harder for you to decide 3 days from now. Oh, I'm going to try it. You have to decide now. So, you know.
Wink. What does your heart say in terms of when you think this event is coming back? Because I believe, this is what I believe. Christmas. I believe Christmas, and between Christmas and New Year's, we're going to see this again.
So, me too.
Okay. Well, that's why I'm waiting.
That's a good reason to wait. That is a good reason to wait. And like I said,
Christmas ain't that far away, man.
That's true. I mean, I would probably...
Don't remind me. Where am I going to buy my Christmas presents now?
But you just bought yourself your Christmas present. Your Christmas present was Revan. You're just getting it a couple months earlier.
I'll be sure to tell my kids that.
Nice.
You guys just push the button on the screen. You're going to love it.
Yeah. So it is tempting. I am still on the fence. I do not know. We'll see. We will see. Like I said last week, I'm awfully thrifty. I don't particularly like spending money, but I mean, I play the heck out of this game and don't ever really spend money. And, you know, it's tempting.
I do it for the people. We'll just say that.
So something somebody else said in chat was, you know, you could get like 5 Xbox games basically for a price you paid for Revan. And while that's a good argument, the amount of time it takes to sit down and play on a console game, like, is such an inconvenience in my life. I literally don't remember last time I turned on the Xbox. That's the reason I still play Swugga. I can play anytime. If I have 10 minutes in which I'm out somewhere on a job waiting on something, or riding in the car, whatever, you can jump out, you can play anytime. It's not like you have to set aside, you know, an hour one evening. I mean, I do set aside like 4 hours one night every week because of this damn game, but that's beside the point. That's a whole different thing. But
we're community guys. This is what we do.
Exactly, that's true.
I just did some quick maths. I just did some quick maths, all right? Here you go. $300 for me to get Revan. I play this game for hours and hours and hours every single day. Taking out other crystals I buy, or any other character I might decide to get. If you were to take the price per day for me to buy Revan and put it in a dollar amount per day for the price of Revan and the amount of enjoyment I get out of this game, I'm going to pay for the next year 82 cents a day to have Revan. So, yes, it's a bulk purchase that you have to pay it all at one time, but as a game that you're playing every single day of the year, 82 cents to me does not seem that terrible. So, here's me like putting my own, trying to find ways to make my purchase feel much better to me. All right, 82 cents a day. That's all I'm saying.
And speaking of all this, patreon.com/shattered order. Make sure you go there. No,
there's the elephant in the room. Never mind. We won't say anything.
Yeah.
Well, one more question on this before we turn the page. One more question. Right. Is there any other character in the Star Wars lore? Let's go into Wink's fantasy world here.
All right.
That you would rather have, like if you went all in on Revan and then tomorrow your favorite character got released, would that change your argument at all?
Okay, so this is actually part of the problem because my favorite character is already in the game, and my favorite character is not really meta at the moment, but Revan kind of makes Yoda meta, so that's part of the reason why I want to do it. Because I know I would get to use Jedi for the next 2 months in the arena.
And it wouldn't be boring Jedi spam. It would be Jedi offense blowing people up and marking fools. And
yeah, perfect.
I will say this. My favorite Star Wars character will probably always be in the meta somehow. So it works out for me perfectly because with General Kenobi being the one of the best tanks in the game for any team, it works out perfect for me. So, Who's yours, Urza?
I don't know, man. I'm a Han guy. Han's pretty sweet.
He is.
Well, good for you because you have a lot of choices.
Oh, you could make a whole team of your favorite character if you wanted. Yeah. Kind of jealous.
They've got a healer. They've got a tank. They've got attackers. They're pretty.
Don't even get me started on Captain Han. That guy is underrated, man. Days on basic, revive. He's got some cool stuff.
He's pretty awesome.
Hot Han is the man.
Yeah, he does that. He does that cleans the snow off him.
If it was his shoulder, it would be perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So if you guys are new to the show, I don't know if Urzatron's followers or anyone else that's new, make sure you go subscribe to the show on iTunes. Just go to your podcast app on your iPhone, search Shadow Order Podcast. You can find us on Stitcher. We're on SoundCloud. We have a website, shadoworder.com, youtube.com/Shattered Order Pod. I always forget what our URL is there. Make sure you go subscribe, and we would love it if you would share the show with your guildmates or whatever. We'd appreciate it. And you can also, especially if you're an Amazon Prime user, go sub to us on Twitch. If you're an Amazon Prime user, you get a free sub every month, and that actually helps us out a lot. And it gets you entered to win a $30 gift card every single month. So do not forget to do that. And I guess it's time for everyone to bust out their Kahoot app.
Kahoot.
So I need a pin code here, right?
I do.
Dan will give it out in 1 second.
It's time for the sexy bearded duo to battle in their SWOGA knowledge in the most exciting trivia event in the Outer Rim. It's time for the Shattered Order Trivia. May the Force be with you.
Now, I said this to Urza before we did trivia, that I've watched plenty of Rogue Action, so I know he's got some trivia knowledge. So I'm curious to see how he does against us here. Hopefully he doesn't
And-
blow us out of the water.
To be very clear, Rogue Actions ripped off the Shattered Order podcast. So thank you guys for the inspiration.
Hey, man. I love it. It's good stuff. All right. So this week we will be talking about, you guessed it, Jedi Revan. So the questions and all the good thing we went over his kit, so it'll all be fresh in our minds. But
Hopefully.
the trivia this week will be on Jedi Knight Revan. So if you have your Kahoot app open, by the way, Wink, where's the music?
Do you not hear the music?
I hear nothing.
I got you, Wink, a little bit. You got it there?
You need more volume?
I got you.
I need
good.
more cowbell.
That's pretty much all I got.
All right, you're good now.
All right. So we got our music. We got our pen code. I'm gonna type the pen code in chat. 0875577.
All right, I'm putting it into multiple devices right now, and then we'll be good to go. 75577. Okay, so this is how it works, Urza. I will read the question. I have two devices here. One to read questions before we have to answer in a timely fashion, and the other to answer the question. So I will read the question, and then I will say go, and then you can go to the question and answer it, and then we'll talk about the answers.
Got it.
All right, so here we go. Question 1 is... Question 1. True or false, Revan is the first character to deal more damage to all darkside enemies. Go.
And it's obviously 50-50 shot, coin flip.
The answers are true or false. Surprise. So what did you guys put?
Hold on 1 sec. I'm Okay, I'm ready now. Sorry.
All right.
Oh, God.
Looks
So
like
I
you
put
got it
false.
right.
No,
I put false as well. I thought there was actually something that a previous character had. Dan, what did you put?
I put true. Because I couldn't think of anyone else that had all dark side. I could think of other factions on the dark side that had it, but not like all dark side.
I thought Rolo for sure. Something like Rolo, but maybe nah.
Apparently not. That is, that one is true. First character to deal more damage to all dark side enemies. Craziness.
All right. Next question. Which character cannot increase cooldowns? All right. Go ahead.
And the options are Commander Luke Skywalker, Traya, Nihilus, and Revan.
All right, guys. We'll wait a few seconds so everyone has answered. What'd you guys put?
I put Commander Luke Skywalker.
Good old case of CLS right here.
Does that mean you answered it?
Yeah, I got it. I got it. CLS.
All right. I got CLS as well. 3 for 3 on that one. Good job, guys.
Good deal.
All right, the next question. Which character cannot heal allies? And go.
And the options are Revan, Chewie, Wicket, and Rey Jedi Training.
Ooh, this is tough, man.
Every week we burn our brains to this.
Yeah, Tesh from Frequent Fighters does a heck of a job putting this trivia together. And also thanks to Izzy for doing the quality assurance for us this week.
See you in chat. We appreciate you, man.
And Urzatron, what did you put?
I could put RJT, and yeah.
I
Worked
put
out
the
well.
same thing.
So did I. 3 for 3 again. I like
Very
it.
nice. Not too bad.
All right. Next set of questions. First question is, which enemy cannot gain turn meter from their basic alone?
The options are Traya, Palpatine, Revan, and Admiral Snackbar. And I
this
assume
question.
Admiral Snackbar is a joke.
Oh gosh.
And that is like one of my what is that? I think it was from The Simpsons, where they have that like that little the rap bar, and it's like, it's a rap, and Admiral Snackbar, really funny.
Well,
So
I'll go look
what
it
did
up
you
now.
guys put?
I put Palpatine, which
I
was
put
not
Palp
the
as
answer.
well. It was not the answer.
That was not the correct answer. Was the one that I put, Traya.
Well done.
Ooh.
All right, the next question. Here we go. True or false? Revan is the only character with multiple assist calling abilities when leader. Go.
Ooh. Ooh.
I'm not gonna lie, I completely guessed on this.
I guess too.
I guess too.
I really want to know who the other one is because the true answer was false. That's a terrible way to say that. The correct answer,
The true answer
was false. True was the incorrect answer. So
I
I'm
also
curious.
put the incorrect answer.
I got it.
We got
False. I got
two
lucky.
goods and one bad. 2 for 3. I want to know who the other character is.
Izzy in chat says Towson.
Really?
Is she?
Oh yeah, because if people die from her leader ability, if
Yep,
people use their
that's right.
basic, they call someone to assist.
Smart girl.
Interesting. Okay.
Dang.
All right, so I'll go to the next one. Number 5, Towson. All of the following can inflict debuffs that cannot be dispelled except. I think he's just giving us the answer to the last question in the question here. All the following can inflict debuffs that cannot be expelled except go. All right, the answers you could give are Thrawn, Revan, RJT, or Zalbar.
Wait, hold on a second. I'm pretty sure all these guys can inflict a debuff that can't be expelled. No? Maybe I'm missing it.
I think you're right, to be honest, because the one I picked is the one that was questionable, but I've used him and it does show up as locked. Does that mean it's actually locked? I don't know. Wink, have you picked an answer?
I have.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. That you Dan, that was the clue that put me in the right direction.
Yeah, so the answer is Zalbar, but
Right.
when you use Zalbar and he does inflict ability shred, it shows up as the locked debuff. So I
But
don't know
what
if it's actually
is
locked.
I don't know if it's
Shred.
I don't know if it's locked. Is it? It's
What
not
is
lo-
armor shred?
Is
It is not a debuff.
Oh wow, this is some hard stuff, man.
Wow, wink, coming in the clutch. Yeah, you're actually true. That
That
is
is
not
right.
a locked debuff.
These
Dan
questions are
has-
amazing.
Dan has missed a similar question before.
Yes, I'm really good with that, thinking that armor shred is a debuff. So,
Ah man.
all right, we're on the back end. We got 3 more left. Let's head to it.
All right.
Question 7. Which character cannot reduce their own cooldowns? And go.
And the options are Commander Luke Skywalker, Cad Bane, Revan, and Boba Fett.
Yikes.
I'm down to 2, and I honestly do not know which. Oh, crap.
Wow. This is diabolical right here.
It really makes you wonder if you you know anything. That's the way this happens.
Right?
Dang it.
I've been playing this game for 3 years.
Yes. This trivia will make you feel so stupid.
What, so it sounds like you got it right, Wink.
No, I got it wrong.
Oh, okay. I thought that looked like an excited clap. I couldn't tell the difference between upset clap and excited clap.
It was an anger clap. Gosh
Oh,
dang it.
okay. All right. So what did you guys put?
I guessed on Boba, and that was not the correct guess.
I knew the answers were not Commander Luke Skywalker or Boba Fett. So it was down to Revan and Cad Bane. I couldn't remember an instance in which Revan did, but why would Cad Bane? So I chose Cad Bane, and it's wrong.
That rework got him. That rework got him reducing cooldowns. But which one does CLS reduce? How does he reduce his cooldowns?
I believe it's his special ability.
The middle one, right?
If he doesn't remove, if he doesn't remove a buff, decreases cooldown by 1, I believe.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I put CLS. So
how does Boba do it?
On his execute, reduce.
Oh
reduce.
yeah.
got him.
Yep.
All right, question 8. Here we go. Which is not included in Revan's leadership?
Oh crap.
And go.
The possible options are increased max health, protection, and tenacity. Tenacity up at the start of the battle. Increased offense, crit chance, and speed. Or protection regen. Yes!
I need a clap so I can see what a happy clap it looks like.
Virus clarified in chat that CLS reduces his special by 1 if he attacks someone not at 100% health.
Gotcha.
Oh.
All right. Well, you were right on the money with him doing it. It's just
Little
who
off
needs
on-
the particulars? It got you the answer. Well, it got you him not as the answer.
Exactly. No, that's fair. Yeah. So what did you guys pick?
I went with the increased max health, protection, and tenacity. And
Nice.
I've read the leadership so many times now, just because it's so long that I was able to remember it.
That's the one I did as well. So, down to the last question. Here we go. Last question is, again, which is not a part of Revan's leadership. All right, here we go. So long you can get
And
2
the
questions out of
options
it.
are turn meter gain prevention at the start of battle, strategic advantage, ignoring taunt, or reducing enemies' max health.
No!
Oh. Got it.
Got it.
Did not get it.
Uh-oh. What'd you pick, Dan?
I picked reducing enemies' max health. I thought that was his unique.
His unique is actually ignoring taunts, which
Yeah.
is the correct answer.
Which was
Yeah.
the... That's how it goes. All right, so what were the final scores, you guys? What'd you guys get?
Looks like I got the same as you, Goodnight Punk, 6,400.
I also
Ugh.
got 6,400.
6,300. It's 6,300.
Oh,
I was close.
So close.
almost.
That's great. Awesome.
The question streak got you.
Yeah. Well, that was fun. Who did these? Who did these questions?
Tesh Karen from the Frequent Fighters, which is a Guild in our Alliance. He is awesome enough to put this together for us every week.
That's super fun, man. That's awesome.
If you check our announcements page, we'll have these codes in there every week. So if you want to do it
Yeah.
every week, it's right there.
And I believe they stay open for 12 days roughly. So
Yeah, I got
you
plenty.
basically have 12 days to get in and do trivia every week.
And every
So
week,
make sure you
I have
go
not
to-
been number one. Someone from the community has always been
That
number
is
one
true.
in trivia. So, congrats to all our listeners that always kick our butts. So, you guys are awesome.
If you go to discord.me/shatteredorder, that is, of course, our Discord channel. And every week in the announcements after the podcast, we will post the game code so you can jump in and do some trivia.
I'm going to do that right now because I always forget. So, there you go. It'll be there.
Good idea. Well, Urzatron, go ahead and plug your channel one more time.
Sure. You just look for me on YouTube, just Urzatron, and then SWGOH probably. That'll get you to my channel. Do some content around just trying to beat the very top teams in the meta, and then just using some fun characters that no one ever uses. So that's just basically what I do.
I love
Cool.
it, man. It's good stuff.
Yes, so everybody go check that out and subscribe to Urzatron's YouTube channel. It will be in the show notes, of course. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. And I guess we will catch you guys next week.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Of course.
Thanks for coming on.
Catch you guys later.